Hey, what's going on, friend? It's Barry E. Knight, and I want to take this time to welcome you to the Leadership Class Coaching Session. Now, before I get into today's topic, please do me a favor and subscribe to this YouTube channel. That way you know when other videos like this are coming up. Also, like this video, whether you like it or not. Just like it so that the algorithms, I guess YouTube spreads it more, the more likes we get. And even more so, please leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this video. I would love to hear from you. And then last but not least, share this video with your peers, with those that are in your leadership network, your directs, even those that you're leading, and have them come and encourage them to comment and subscribe as well. Now let's jump right into the content. I will share from the beginning that this content is directed toward those that are running for some type of political office, or you want to be voted into a position, whether it's a board position or whatever it might be. And those even that are executive leaders and you're new to an executive leadership position and you need to gain and earn commitment and trust from your team faster. This is going to benefit you all, but specifically this is for my individuals, brothers and sisters and friends that are running for political office. I'm basing this out of my observation from watching the California governor primary specifically. We just recently voted June 2nd, 2026, but from from April until May, there were about 6 different debates, and I watched this. So this topic is coming out of me watching and kind of pulling my hair out about watching these candidates and listening to their responses. So I'm going to give you certain points and principles as if I was coaching you. So if you are running for office, you're looking to be voted into a position, whatever that is, or you're an executive leader in a new position, and you need that buy-in, you need to be able to communicate. The challenge with these individuals is they really have a limited amount of time to make their case. And they often get off the track. They get off the pathway to what really is engaging people. And they lose people, or they're baited, many people are baited into kind of speaking out of their frustration, and they lose the engagement of the people whose votes they are trying to win. So what do you do about that? I'm going to give you some points. I don't know how many points I have. As a matter of fact, this is so deep and so widely spread in terms of content that I could give. There's so many nuances. I'm probably going to do a few more teaching videos like this on it. But I want to give you 2 objectives. If I'm talking to you, you're that elected official. If you know of an elected official or someone rather running for an elected office or any of the other points voted into position, or you're elected, or executive leader, I would that you would share this video with them. But I want to share these 2 things. If I'm coaching you, we would build your entire campaign off of these 2 pillars. As a matter of fact, if you lost the race and you spent millions, you probably need to call me. And I don't mean that arrogantly. I am very serious that one of the things, if I can, at the risk of being bombastic and braggadocious, one of the things I'm very, very good at is communicating to engage. One-on-one, crowds, groups, doesn't matter. God has blessed me with an ability to engage people through communication. It doesn't matter what country I'm in. It doesn't matter if they speak broken English or I speak broken German, or broken Spanish, or broken Mandarin, whatever the case. I can be in your country. I'm going to find a level ground to connect with you. And when I leave your presence, the number one thing is that I want them to say, he's my friend. I like him. That's what I want to leave behind. So if I'm coaching you, which if you're watching this, let's assume I'm coaching you, there are 2 objectives that we would build your entire communication strategy from your platform to your website. Number 1, and probably none of these points are going to be anything that you would think they would be. But how we would coach you through everything you say is, number 1, the first objective is to reduce uncertainty. I was watching these candidates, and honestly, me personally, and again, leave a comment if you want to share your thoughts on this. I became more uncertain. Like when I voted, I did vote in the primary, and I will vote in November's election as well, but I'm not happy about it. I wasn't like so like, yes, this is the guy, this is the lady, this is the person that I want leading my state as governor. I didn't have that feeling at all. I haven't had that feeling in a while, to be honest with you. That's a problem. It's a problem. Now, some people vote off of their party, their preference, left, right, blue, red, donkey, elephant, RD, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? They vote just off of that, and that's it. But no, you have to, if you're communicating and you want to win votes based off of your leadership presence, your ability for people to believe in you regardless of your party. Right voting for left, left voting for right, R voting for D, voting for independent. Doesn't matter. If you want to be that person, you have to communicate in a way to reduce their uncertainty. Uncertainty. Now, I'll have to unpack all this later on. I don't have the time to show you examples, but I promise you I will do, because again, this is very nuanced. But I want to reduce uncertainty. One example, I guess it's fair to give. People are struggling homes. A lot of the candidates talked about, we're going to sit with the builders. We're going to sit with this, and we're going to do this, and yeah, whatever. We've heard that before. We've heard solutions. I don't want to start with a solution. I want to make sure my answer is reduced, or built off of, rather, reducing your uncertainty. That's just objective one. I might say something like this. Yes, housing is high. First of all, I need to figure out and meet with more of you. I need to have a team who is public focused, who are focused on you Californians, and we're not just sitting in our chambers in Sacramento trying to invoke policy on you, and we don't even understand what you're going through. You see, I'm just making this up as I'm talking. It may or may not be right, whatever. But that's, if I'm running for governor, if I was running for governor, that's one of the things I would do. I would want to make sure I'm speaking in a way to reduce their uncertainty. I might not even know the plan. I might not even be certain about the plan. But what I want to do is be certain that I'm going to make a way. I might say something like, listen, I don't know how we're going to do this. Yes, many people are talking about meeting with this person and removing regulations and putting moratoriums on all this stuff. All that's great. Yeah, all my candidates are, yeah, that's great. But what we need to find out is, what is your pain? Once we solve this, what do we really solve for you? That's the first thing. What did I just do? I moved them a little bit out of uncertainty to certainty that says, he's focused on me. She's focused on me. The second objective, first objective is reduce uncertainty. The second objective is you must communicate in a way that provides a sense of relief. They must say after you speak, okay, I can see how that could happen. Okay, yeah, he's not too clear. She doesn't know. Nobody really knows, but I sense how they're going to fight for me. And by the way, that's a part of these two objectives. If you are, and this is me coaching you, candidate running for elected office, you have to be able to speak, or number one, understand their pain. Like I said, that's why I'm not doing a lot of number ones, because everything is a number one. You have to understand their pain. You have to understand what their weight, what it feels like for them to carry that weight. And then they also need to know that you're going to fight for them. You have to communicate in a way that lets them feel, helps them feel they understand what I'm fighting against. They understand what I'm up against as a California who's a single parent who makes less than $100,000 a year, sometimes $200,000 a year, but who lives in an apartment, outgrown the apartment, but I can't afford a home. But it's almost like the apartment is becoming just as expensive as owning a home. You have to know what that feels like, the pain that they're in, what they're fighting, and they need to know that you're going to fight for them. So I'm talking a lot off the soapbox here. I want to make this point, and it's going to be on the screen. The leader who wins the moment is not the one who proves the other side wrong. It is the one who makes people feel seen, safe, and certain about what is coming next. I'll read it again. I'll leave it on the screen for you. The leader who wins the moment, the one who gains the trust, gets the vote from the people, is not the one who tries to prove the other side wrong. It's not, I'm a Democrat and the Republicans are wrong and Trump is wrong and every one of the administrative staff is wrong. Nope, that's not going to get it. It's not the Republicans saying Democrats 16 years have failed. Democratic policy is the reason right we're here. That might be true. A lot of things may be true, but it doesn't win people over per se unless they are just hard-pressed, diehard for their party, no matter who the candidate is. And there are those that exist. The leader who wins the moment is not the one who proves the other side wrong. It is the leader who wins the moment is the one who makes people feel seen, safe, and certain about what is coming next. That's it. So another point, not number one, number two, not number three, just another point that I want to share with you. When you're communicating, you need to communicate in a way to find the unifying point. What's that point that brings people together? You want to do that. There was a question that was asked by one of the moderators during the debate, and I'm going to read it verbatim and share kind of how I would answer that. Here was the question that the moderator asked. California, as you all know, has long been a symbol of the American dream. But right now, many Californians are struggling to make ends meet. The state now has the highest unemployment rate in the nation. And according to analysis from our partner USA Facts, which I believe is founded by Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers and former CEO of Microsoft, it is one of only 5 states that lost population between 2024 and 2025. Given everything that I just laid out there, why do Democrats deserve another 4 years in charge? Now, the person who answered this question, I'm not going to give the name, but the person who answered it started off decent, and then they kind of got off the track and started talking Republicans and raising that uncertain meter and lessening the relief for the potential voter. This is my sense, and this is what I felt, and I could probably say more people in my conversations felt the same way. Here's how I would answer that. I would say, moderator, I thank you for the question, but this is bigger than party. This is bigger than Republicans versus Democrats, because we are all Californians. This is about Californians. This is about every family. This is about every worker. This is about every student and those that want to stay and thrive in California, but are struggling to do so. Whether they have a Democrat, a D after their name, or an R after their name, no matter what side of the tracks they grew up on, no matter what their economic status is, this is about addressing the needs of Californians. What did I just do there? I found the unifying point. It's easy. As a matter of fact, sidebar, one of the governor candidates who did not win, if you know me, then you know who I know who was running. And you can share this video with this person. I messaged this individual multiple times on LinkedIn. We had exchange. We saw each other in the airport. We talked. And I shared these exact points with this individual who was on the stage for these debates. And I heard this individual go off the rails, I don't know how many times. And I can guarantee you, even in their own party, which they lost the party's nomination, that they made more of the potential voters more uncertain. They made them more uncertain, and they did not bring the voter relief. They did not find the unifying point. They kept saying, it's that party, it's that party, it's that party, it's that party. At the end of the day, running is not about the party per se, long term. It's about the individuals who make up the territory that you're running to lead. The city, the town, the community, the department, whatever, the board area that you're running to be a part of, whatever the case might be. It's about the constituents. So in my response, what was I doing? I was unifying. I was finding that unifying point, and I communicated to that unifying point. What are Democrats going to do for the next 4 years? That's going to be different. It's not about Democrats. This is about Californians. We need to stop making it about us versus them. This is about all of us who live in this state who deserve the right. If I'm a billionaire, how would I find the unifying point? If I'm a billionaire and I'm speaking to single parents who are struggling to make ends meet, I'm going to say, listen here, I've made it in here. I've succeeded in California. And it is a shame that we don't have more people able to succeed or feel free at the level of their income. We have to do better. That sucks. That is dumb that we have this mother trying to take care of her 3 kids and we keep having increasing medical bills or increase in electric bills. Why is that? We're going to stop that. That is not fair for her. That is not fair for him. I'm speaking to their pain. I'm speaking in a way to understand their fight, right? I'm bringing a little bit of relief to them, but I'm finding the unifying point. Not us versus them, not billionaire versus 6-figure, 5-figure earner. I'm finding the unifying point. As a matter of fact, if you look down in history, and let me see my time, Nelson Mandela did this perfectly. Was in prison for 27 years. Last prison he was in, I think he was in two to three prisons, but he was at Robben Island, and he got out and he ran for president, won, was elected in 1994. How did he do it? When the Afrikaans, which were of German descent, they were majority white, and they were the minority that in the country of South Africa, but they led office. They had the majority of political office. Then you have the Africans, the true South Africans, right? Black people who were struggling. How does he, South African Nelson Mandela, Madiba, black man, how does he unify everyone together? How does he do that? He found the unifying point. You have to find the unifying point, my friend. What did he do? He used the greatest unifier of that country, the World Cup. Not the soccer World Cup that we just had a month ago, but the, what sport was it? The rugby World Cup in 1995. He used that to bring everyone together. He found, that's all I'm saying is he found the unifying point. And my friend, if I'm coaching you, what you have to do is look at your script, look at what you're going to communicate, look at potential questions, and answer those questions, answering the unifying point, not the dividing point. Next, and I only have 2 more things I'm going to give you, and we're going to get out of here. Next, you have to empathize. Empathize, not just empathy that we read about in books and watch YouTube videos. I'm talking about empathize until they feel you feel them, until they feel that you get them. In other words, like Chris Voss writes in his book, Never Split the Difference, he says, you don't want them to respond and say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're saying it. You're close to what I'm saying. No, because that's really saying, you don't get me. I just don't feel like talking to you and arguing the point anymore because you're just too far gone. You don't understand me. And you're going to lessen your opportunity to actually engage them and win their vote. The response that you want from your communication is you want them to say, that's right. That's it. That's exactly how I feel. The only way you can do that, Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 19 through 21 through 22, he says, to the Jew, I became a Jew that I might gain Jews. To the weak, I became like I was weak. I wasn't there, but I understood their pain so I can know how to fight for them. So that's what he was saying. He was saying if I'm a Republican, to the Democrats, I'm going to understand the Democrats and what they're fighting against, what they're up against. Let me take that back. Not the D, not the R, the Californian, right? Because I want to make sure I'm in line with what I said. I want to empathize whether they are a D or an R. I want to empathize with them as a Californian, finding the unifying point and saying, I understand that. I not understand what you're going through, because I try not to ever say that. And if you're a politician, you're running for office, you're running, trying to get votes, trying to get buy-in, don't ever say I understand what you're going through, because you don't. Even if you went through a similar situation, don't say that. What you want to say is, Here's what I understand of what you're saying. Here's what I'm understanding what you're up against. Here's what I'm understanding and hearing that you're fighting against. And then you want to proceed to share that in a way that lets them, gives them opportunity to say, rather, that's right, that's it, that's exactly what I'm dealing with, right? And then communicate a plan that says, I'm fighting for you too. Last but not least, as I said, there's a lot of things I have to unpack. So many nuances here that I just can't cover in one session, but I promise to do more. If you leave me comments and let me know that this is something you want more of, I will do that. I think I'm going to also bring on an elected official or somebody running for office, and I'm going to dive in. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dive into have one session with an elected official so that we can go through these points and see how they resonate with it. The last thing you want to do, and this is from my book, The Gift Called Leadership. It's from the chapter entitled Earn Their Trust, Respect, and Confidence. You've been hearing me say that a few times throughout this session. People are asking you 3 questions, and as you communicate, you must always answer these 3 questions. It's all connected. It brings some relief. It reduces uncertainty. Number 1, they're asking you, do I believe what you're saying? Number 2, they're asking, how am I going to benefit, or do I see how I will benefit personally and professionally? And the third thing they're asking you, as they're listening to you communicate to them, they're asking, do I even trust you to lead me there? Now, my friend, listen, you can pass the test of number 1. Well, yeah, I believe what they're saying. I believe that's exactly what California needs. I believe that's what our state, our nation, our city needs, whatever the case. Yeah, I can definitely see how that would benefit me as an X person, as this person, a part of this socioeconomic class. I can see how that will benefit me personally and professionally. But if you don't answer number 3, can they trust you to get them there? Then you will struggle earning their vote, their buy-in, and their enrollment into your vision, and frankly, anything else you have to say to them. I'm going to leave you with this statement. Don't lead with your plan. Lead with your understanding of their pain. Let me say it again. Don't lead with your plan, right? That's something that I had to learn with my wife. Don't just say, well, okay, wife, this is how you feel. This is what we're going to do. No, wife, I identify with that pain you're feeling, and this is how it makes you feel. And you don't like it when X happens. You don't like it when I don't do this for you. That makes you feel this way, and I don't want you to feel that way anymore. Here's what I propose to do. And my proposal is not a plan. It is a relief. It's providing them a sense of relief. And the best way to do that is collaborate. I know a lot of elected officials don't really believe in that. We have town halls, but let me say that over. There are some that do, and I can think of some that have town halls and fight for the people. They understand what the people are fighting for and fighting against and up against, and they actually do fight for the people. But I also know politicians that don't do that, right? Let me say it that way. So before you say, here's what we're going to do, I want you to practice saying, here's what I understand you're carrying. Right? Once they talk, they get to the dais or to the microphone, you're sitting there at the podium. Don't just say, yeah, I understand. Here's what we're going to do. Say, listen, I understand what you're carrying, and unpack that. Or here's what I understand, rather. Here's what I understand about what you're carrying. And you want to unpack that. You're going to immediately build trust. You're going to communicate in a way that reduces uncertainty. You're going to bridge, close that trust gap, right? All the things that we talked about before, you're going to find the unifying point just by communicating that way. So if I don't understand this person at the mic and they're asking me a question, I'm going to say, listen, I thank you for sharing that with me. That's very Very bold of you to come and share that with me. And more people that are running need to hear that. We need to hear that. Here's what I'm understanding what you're saying, and please let me know if I've missed anything. What I'm hearing you saying is when X is happening in California, this is causing you to do Y, and you keep getting this Z outcome, and that's what's impacting you. Am I hearing that right? Okay, so with that plan, what I want to do, and my plan is going to come and attach to not more builders, not talking to SCE or PG&E. If you're in California, you know what those terms are. I'm not focusing on that. I'm going to say, first of all, what we need to do to help you out of point X and point Y to get you a better Z, we need to do 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to direct everything to pain and relief and reducing uncertainty. My friend, listen, I know that was a lot. I don't even know what you're going to think about it, but please, again, do me 4 things. Do me 4 things before you exit out of this video. Number 1, subscribe if you haven't already. Number 2, like this video. Number 3, leave me a comment. And number 4, please share this video, especially if you know somebody running for office. We have November, we have 2028. Presidential election. If you know of someone wanting to run for office, please have them send this video, share this video with them, and have them reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation. That is it for today's coaching session, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you hung with me throughout the duration. My name is Barry E. Knight, and my purpose and calling is to help you become the leader and carry the responsibility that your vision requires so you can build what you see. 2 fingers.